Greetings, family. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It is Monday, August the 22nd, 2022, and the time is 7 o'clock a.m. I hope you're having a joyous Monday morning. Okay, so today we're going to pick up on where we left off yesterday as it relates to the laws of the universe. So I wanted to talk to you about the laws of the universe because these are the spiritual or metaphysical laws that guide or govern everything that's in the universe. This is a universal principle or universal principles that surpass the law of the water, the law of the sea, and the laws of the land. So my purpose is to help us focus on the laws of the universe so that we can align ourselves with them and thus create the glorious reality that we all desire. So let's hop right in. But before we get to the 4 laws of the universe that we're supposed to talk about today, let's do a summary of the 4 laws that we spoke about yesterday. The first law is the law of divine oneness. That law basically states that we are all one, in that we're all interconnected. And everything that we do affects each other because we've all come from the same source. And when it's our time to go, we will all go back to the source. So humans, animals, plants, insects, stars, planets, constellations, they all are a part of each other and they're all interconnected. Therefore, we are to treat each other and each entity the way we would treat ourselves or the way that we desire to be treated. We are to treat each and every sentient being with love and empathy because love is a vibration of the creative force that created every last one of us. So that is the law of divine oneness. Number 2 is the law of vibration. Basically, that law states that anything that you desire to manifest can be done so from the energy that you create and allow to come from or flow through your body. So this is why we must always ensure that we have high vibrations. That means that we're positive, we're grateful, we're thankful, we have joy, because this is what allows us to manifest. So the law of vibration states that everything vibrates or resonates on a frequency. Now you can either have a flow frequency of scarcity, fear, pain, negative emotions, or you can have high vibrational, joyous frequencies of love, frequencies of happiness and joy, frequencies that raise up your thinking and your aura, that makes your aura glow or shine or bright. Because, my darlings, when you thrive or rise your level of frequency and your level of thinking, everything around you will be affected. It's like pouring water into your body. It's like drinking an overflow of goodness. And when you're filled up to capacity, the overflow, what comes from it, flows over from all of that joy and all that positivity comes out of you and touches everything around you and makes it glorious. So that leads us to principle number 3 or law number 3, the law of attraction. Basically, the law of attraction is about what you think about and focus on. Whatever you think about and focus on, family, manifests. It multiplies. It comes into fruition. So this is why we ensure that we think on positivity. Whatsoever things are righteous, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely and of good report, anything that's admirable, we focus on and think of those things as well as the things that we desire, because that is what will come into our reality. And you have the power to do that, to create whatever it is you desire. This is why it's important to know these laws, because when you know them, you can live by them and you can create whatever it is that you wish. Law number 4 is the law of correspondence. That states that anything that is going on outside of you is a direct reflection of what is going on inside of you. So your external environment is typically a mirror image of how you're feeling inside. So if you feel great about yourself, if you're feeling happy, if you're coming from a place of joy, then it should show outside of you in your decisions that you make. Your environment will be affected. How clean it is, how neat, how organized, how peaceful it is a reflection of what's in you. So make sure that you come from a place of joy. Make sure if there's something going on, internal conflict, unhappiness, traumas, make sure you get to the root of that and pluck it up, family, and then replace it with something joyous, peaceful, and high vibrational. So that's the summary of the 4 laws of the universe from yesterday. So today, the day of the moon or moon day or Monday, we're going to talk about the next 4 laws. Law number 5 is the law of inspired action. Now, this law means that you need to create space for internal guidance. This law basically states that you know that there's something that you need to do or some type of inspiration that you need to have to create whatever it is that you've been brought here to do, but you have to take the time to hear from your internal guidance or from your ancestors, from your creator, from your highest self. What do you need to do to create that space to be inspired? Now, let me stop here by saying we all have a purpose. It's just that sometimes it's hard to live purposefully or to live intentionally if we don't know what that purpose is. But I will tell you, when you figure it out and you do it, you will have joy and you will vibrate on a high frequency. So create that space. Take the time to be quiet. Take that time to do whatever it is so you can listen to your internal guide, because that internal guide will send something to ignite a fire within your soul. It reminds me of Jeremiah, who was a prophet in the scriptures. Now, you all know prophets and prophetesses sometimes have to give a word. Sometimes it's an encouraging word. Sometimes it's a warning. And everybody doesn't want to hear from the messenger. And so sometimes they would get upset at the messenger instead of listening to the message. Well, Jeremiah was compelled to give a message to the people or to the children of Israel that were in the Bible. And he said, this word is like fire shut up in my bones. It's like fire. It's like something that was ignited and caged up in my bones. Family, when you are inspired to do something, you know it's coming from the Creator because it gnaws at you. It speaks to you. It burns within you. It talks to you. It is loud and sometimes thunderous, and it is like a burning perpetual fire or match that's been lit inside your soul. Family, create this space to receive from or to invite in the internal guidance that will ignite that passion in you. Okay, what do you have to do? For me, I need to sit by a beach because there's something about listening to those waves move and roar and then crash on the ocean that ignites a passion within me. It inspires me to write. Being in the sun inspires me to come up with topics to speak about to you all. Sometimes just being out in nature gives me a breath of life. What does it for you, family? Create that space. So this law of inspired action is doing something by way of creating space to hear from your internal guide so that you can be ignited with fire and passion to perpetuate your calling. It's not necessarily steps of actions or a plan of action or something you have to write down, but it's creating an opportunity to hear from your highest self or from your ancestors or your creator. Now, some people go through a ritual of lighting candles and have ceremonies where they hear from the creator or from their ancestors. Only you know what that is. That's law number 5. Law number 6 is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just is. Everything is made of energy or a vibration or a frequency, and is constantly changing or shifting form. And family, you have the power as creators and gods, as beings that came from the source, the oneness, to allow that vibrational energy to flow through you and shift your environment. So if there's something in your environment that you'd like to see multiply or manifest or change, then do whatever it takes to cause that energy to flow through you and create the effectual change that you're looking for. Family, this is so powerful. This allows you to see that you are also a co-creator with the source or the oneness that caused all of creation to come into existence. I remember when I was thinking about moving to Jacksonville, Florida, I created a space. I got into a quiet place and I did my meditations and I channeled my higher self and I talked to the creator and even my ancestors and asked, what is it that I need to do? Because I feel compelled to move. So I created that sacred quiet place. And then I called my oracle. Her name is Deidre Russell. Some of you all know her. And I called her and I asked her, and if you need her services, honey, I will give you her number. She's always taking clients because she's so wonderful and connected to source, because it's her calling and her purpose. And I said, I feel a compunction and a compelling to move, but I keep hearing that, oh, it's not always a great place to move. There's violence there. There's this, there's that. There are crocodiles, alligators, but I knew that there was something that was inspiring me to create a change in my life. And Deidre said to me squarely, honey, if you feel compelled to go, go. And if there's any energy that you don't like, then you use the power that is invested in you and transmute that energy. In other words, change that energy. Don't allow anything to hold you back from going where you're supposed to go, doing what you're supposed to do, creating the way you're supposed to create. If there's any negativity, any vibrations that don't resonate with you, then use the power that's within you to create a shift in your environment and transmute or change that energy. That might mean change your mindset, change the way you think about it. That might mean you have to speak to that situation and say, peace, be still. You may have to speak to a situation and say, trouble, run from me, because I am a creator, because I am God or I am God's. I came from a higher source and I have the power to command you to flee from my life. I have the power and the authority to cause my body and those around me to be healed. I have the power and the authority to call abundance to come down from heaven, because as it is above, so it is below. As it is inside or internal, so it is external. And you, my darlings, use your words and your thinking and your energy from you to transmute or change or create a shift in your environment or in your reality. Law number 7, the law of cause and effect. There is a direct relationship between actions and events. There's a relationship between what you do and what will happen as a matter of fact, or an effect based on your action. Now, you might not see it right away, but you will see the effect because it is a universal law and a principle. You do not change universal laws. I do not change universal laws. These are ancient laws and principles that govern the universe that our ancestors have always known about. It is in our best interest to align ourselves with these universal laws and to ensure that we are in the best place to do what it takes to create positive change and shift. So if you want a good effect, then make sure that whatever you do or speak or think will cause that effect, because it will happen. Now, cause and effect. You drop something, it will hit the ground, okay? You speak something, it will reach a soul. It will reach somebody's spirit, and you might even receive the effects of that. So always keep in mind what you do and what you say, because you want to be sure that whatever that effect is, it's a positive effect. The law of cause and effect. It will come back around. You may not know when it will, but darling, it will. And law number 8, the final law that we will speak about today, is the law of compensation. Basically, it means you reap what you sow. You will receive a reward, whether good or bad. Be not deceived. The universe cannot be mocked. Whatsoever you sow, that shall you also reap. Whatever you put out in the universe, you'll receive. Whatever you plant, you will receive a reward for it. You will be paid for it. So make sure you sow in righteousness. Make sure you think in righteousness. Make sure everything you do is in alignment with a higher cause, with goodness, with joy. Think purposefully, so that you can be compensated that in return good, okay? So it doesn't matter. If you put out bad, you're going to get bad. If you put out good, you're going to get good. They call that old-fashioned karma. Whatsoever you sow, that shall you also get in return. So family, my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've served to raise your vibrations and cause for you to have a magnificent Monday. Listen, family, these are the laws that govern us. So keep them in mind when you think, behave, or even feel, so that you can be in alignment with high vibrational frequencies. We are ascending as human beings. We are coming up in our consciousness. We are connecting with Source. So if you want to live on a high vibrational frequency, if you want to experience perpetual joy and abundance and live on a happy, joyous plane, or on a timeline that is as such, then be mindful of what you think, feel, and do. Family, in my conclusion, on the other day, I was talking to a friend and I gave my friend a gift, and my friend was elated. And he said, you know what? I had given a similar gift 10 years ago. I gave from my soul. I gave from my necessity, but something inspired me to give it. And when you gave me this very important, magnificent gift, it was so similar to what I have given that it touched my soul. And he said, this is a law of cause and effect. I brought this to myself. I am being rewarded or compensated. So you see the two laws working together for what I did 10 years ago. Be intentional with your behaviors, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and make sure they're positive and high vibrational, and the universe will reward you accordingly. I hope you have a magnificent day, family. Go out and make it great. I love you. Namaste.